Gacha games. Love them, hate them. I played a lot of them. Gacha games consumed me this year during a time where going outside was a big no-no and spending time indoors, inviting boredom, anime, desperation, and perversion to overtake my very being was a big yes. But let's not let this be for waste, gentlemen. No. For I have ascended. I have unlocked the final achievement and I have acquired the gentleman's taste for gacha quality. So tonight, let me be your gacha sommelier. Because if you're looking for a new gacha to suck your soul out, take it out of your body, fill it with a bunch of pain pecos, and serve it up to a dish for gacha game publishers, then maybe I got you covered. Let me show you my top 10 favorite gacha releases from 2021. Let's get started. Starting off with number 10, we're starting off with something spicy. We're starting off with something sexy. We're starting off with something that starts with the letter H and ends with the word hentai, like your favorite Pokemon. It is TenkafuMA, released in January 2021 on Arrow Labs for mobile. Now we're gonna go, spitfire super fast for all of these reviews. Some of the things that I like, it's got low maintenance, fast dailies, really great live 2D, great characters, many characters. Seems fairly generous in terms of, the accumulation of summoning resources, and very clean writing, very wholesome game, very just family friendly. I recommend it to all families. Do not give it to your families. Cons: the progression system can feel really slow, but dupes aren't necessary, so that's kind of good. The gameplay is very basic. It's auto attack plus skill plus passive, and there is no battle animations whatsoever. Really, like you get a cut out of your character, but yeah, there's other productions value in other places, so I wouldn't be that worried. But if you're someone who likes to see explosions go boom boom, you're probably not going to get it here. Also, the events are super well territory stamina reliant, and you gotta spend to get like the full value of the event, which is definitely a con. But overall, I think this is a great release. I really enjoyed the game. It kind of got lost in the sea of other games for me, but I'll get back to it eventually. Number 9, Revived Witch. Now, I was very hyped for this release. A lot of people were. Did it match the hype? Not completely, not really, but I still think a really great game. Released in November 2021 for mobile. Some of the things I really liked about this game is that it's got beautiful and unique stages and character sprites, like very high quality pixel art, sort of reminiscent of Octopath Traveler, just super high quality. Atmospheric world, good live 2D designs, and A+ tier music. I mean, there's some bangers in there for sure. Some of the things that I didn't like: not a lot to do in the end game. The levels can take really long and exploration feels bland. Like, this is one of those games where sometimes it feels like the best parts of the games you're just gonna auto, and the worst parts of the games you got a manual. And yeah, that might be more dramatic than it seems. It's not for the whole game, but it definitely is for grinding the story out. And so, something to note. Overall, though, I think that this is a very strong release. With changes, this has potential to be much stronger than it is today. And so for that potential, and for just the general vibe and aesthetic, I'm going to give this number 9. Number 8 is going to be Nier Reincarnation, released in February 2021 for mobile. Obviously, this game is here for the booty. I mean, Yoko Taro's got great writing. He does, but look at that ass. Look, this game's got amazing graphics. It's got, again, the story penned by Yoko Taro. It's very atmospheric, and you've got Nier collapse for days. And so anybody who is a fan of the Nier games, or sort of that, existentialist storytelling, I think you got something to look forward for in this game. Some of the things that, people didn't like, including myself, was the gameplay is a little basic. It's boring. It's not much to do. It sort of plays itself. PvP's a shit show, and the worst offender for me was the crappy rates. And the pools are expensive, so even if you wanted to be a dumbass and whale like me, you really couldn't, because it is really expensive and the sort of ceiling for pitying is very high. But if you treat this game casually, it is one of a kind. Like, you're not going to find a mobile game like this anywhere else. It is its own thing. And so for that reason, it makes it to my number 8 spot on the list. Number 7 is going to be Figure Fantasy. Now, this was released and soft launched on November of 2021 for mobile. And for me, this is kind of a surprise hit and a surprise debacle of the year for me. I really like certain aspects of the game. I really love the art style. I'm not sure if you guys ever watched the movie Toy Soldiers. It came out, you know, in the 90s, I think. But this is basically toy soldiers and anime mixed into one. And it feels really good. Like, all the characters are very unique. They feel awesome, that sort of come to life. And yeah, the thing I really like about this game is actually the strategy parts of this. A lot of idle/AFK games feels like you're just using your highest level units and fuck it, you know? But this game feels like the mix and synergies of your units in tandem with the sort of placement strategy is important, and it actually feels really good. Part of the debacle that I mentioned earlier is that this game has some of the worst monetization I've seen in any mobile game. Like, you got a freaking pop-up to spend money after every chapter. All the events are spend events, so it just feels nasty, in addition to the fact that F2P, you hit like a brick wall, and the only way you feel like you can progress is to spend. And then you've got all these things telling you to spend. It feels icky. For that reason, this game probably shouldn't be on this list. Like, there's so much negative, but there's also that aspect of strategy and the style that I really like. And so for that reason, I'm gonna, you know, hesitantly put this on number 7. Number 6, we're gonna go with Seven Knights 2, released in November 2021 for mobile and PC. Now, I was very surprised by this release. I did not play the first one, and the thing that really got me to put this game on my list and sort of halfway through is that I feel like this game has the best feeling of progression in any game that I played this year. By progression, I not only mean character progression, I mean sort of story progression. I mean, like, you're gonna hit these walls where, and they're sort of by design. Like, you have to sort of think about who you want to level. You will make progress through time, and it really feels like satisfying to sort of work through that system and hit a new power spike and work towards the new power spike. And for that reason, I rate it very highly on my list. Now, it's got a lot of bad to it. There is a rarity tier called L+. I'm not going to get into the weeds. It is unattainable for F2P unless you wait a very long time. For whales, you know, they can whale out. Even for them, it's sort of a bad investment to try to pull for them. And yeah, I get the reason of making a unit like so unattainable, but it feels bad. And also, the monetization of this game is awful. The packs and the value of them, like $80, and look at what you're getting. It doesn't feel right. Like, it actually feels like they're, you know, they're conning you. And you get a sort of pop-up after every freaking thing you do in this game. And so, yeah, it's one of those. I know that I just said a lot of negative about the game, but I do really think that it's a fun game. It's got like this fun MMO type light combat. The team building is fun. It feels easy to play in a you get out what you put in sort of way. And yeah, for that reason, it's number 6 on my list. I almost forgot. And I continue to look forward to updates. Next on our list is going to be number 5, Mist Train Girls. Yeah, this is going to be another adult game. And I know, folks, I know it is scary, but it is good. This game was released in September 2021 for PC and also available on like a mobile browser. Now, one of the things, and I neglected to mention this on my TenkafuMA review, is that H games, adult games, usually aren't at the same caliber as regular gacha games. If you've sort of taken a look through them, they are usually much more predatory. They're usually much worse in terms of the content there. And they're usually just very expensive because people, you know, they know what people are paying for. They gotta know. But not this game. This game's got great story, great characters, great writing. It's got, you know, it's very low maintenance. It's got a browser version. You can just set it on your background and let it play itself. The rates are really fair, I think. You only need to pull each character once and then you can build them later. It's got really nice events for most of the new banners. It's got really good customization options in terms of team building and team synergy. And it's got really nice battle animations, similar to Princess Connect. Like, I think just on par with Princess Connect. I really like the battle animations and the ultimates. Some of the bad things about this game is each banner is 2 new characters. So, you know, you've seen this before. If you're looking to get one of the characters on the banner, you might just get the other one a whole bunch. It's quite a lot to pity, but it's not impossible. Some of the characters start to blend / look the same due to the style of the game. Look, that might just be me, but there's a character in the game that I always confuse with another character because they almost look identical. It's also one of those games like Romancing Saga that is very grindy and sort of almost like a fake idle game where it's basically going to play itself for the most part. Some people might like that. Some people, I think enough people dislike it for me to sort of list it as a con. But overall, this is one of my favorite releases of the year. It has an age-friendly version that I recommend to anybody who is sort of averse to adult games. You're missing out, but I recommend it. It's a good game even without the adult features, and so give it a try. Number 4 sleeper hit of the year is going to be Super String, I think. It's been getting some traction recently, but I think it was under the radar for most of the year. It released in May 2021 for mobile. Now, some of the things I really like in this game, it's got great character design and character battle animations. Like, if you were going to play this game for just one thing, play it for the animations of the characters. They feel so cool and they all feel so different and unique. Like, I was super drawn in just for that reason. It's also got, weirdly, like a really good story and writing. Like, I was actually engaged and it actually kept me guessing to what was happening. Like that first, cinematic, it was awesome. It was really cool. It's also free to play friendly in the sense that the lower rarities actually feel pretty strong and you can actually feel like you can build them to get to a place where they're actually going to be stronger for the most part than your higher rarity characters. Also, once a month, you get a free rerolls like selection where you can roll 30 times and pick which one you want the best. And I don't know, that feels kind of cool. It's sort of unique. I don't see it that much in other gacha games. It feels fair. Now, the game feels slow in terms of accumulating summon currency. The map gameplay where you sort of move your teams to the next battle feels clunky to me. Gear can be overwhelming. There's 6 slots for each character. And it has a gear gacha, which I think is total doo-doo. Like, there are specific sets for specific characters, and I have not seen one way to target a specific character set. And so you just get random until you accidentally get the one you want. Doesn't feel good. Feels a little icky. There's also a paid battle pass. There's 2 paid battle passes that refresh every 2 weeks. And so I'm not saying it's without faults, but I think that there's enough cool stuff going on that it's worth a gander. And it's a game that I keep playing till today. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So I think it is unique enough in that aspect that it warrants a number 4 place on the list. Next on the list, on number 3, is going to be Blue Archive. Now, this is a very hyped release. Sort of the Korean version was very renowned and well known and had a lot of people playing, and people were worried that Nexon was going to kill it. I don't think they did yet. Cough, lollygate. I know people are mad, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm going to talk about the game. It was released in November 2021 for mobile. Now, I think this game is very generous when it comes to its rewards. It gives a ton of summoning currency. Like, I have felt every week I get like a multi, and that's, I don't know, it feels pretty good to me, especially for a game like this. The gameplay is simple yet charming, and some of the cool things that they did was, the developers brought over all the quality of life from like the 1 year ahead version to the global, and to me, that gave me faith in the developers and in the game. It's also super low maintenance. It's a very easy side game. Like, you can just log in for 20 minutes a day and just get everything done. Very high production quality, and you especially see it in the live 2D models / scenes that you get when you sort of get the highest level of affection for a character. And so, yeah, it feels very charming. Like, it's a very fun game, and doesn't really ask a lot of the player. Now, the cons are that the rates in summoning are, they're just plainly, they're pain pecco, man. Like, it sucks. Like, it does not feel good to summon in that game. The gameplay may also be lacking for some people. Like, you just basically, you don't even position, like, you just click the ultimate and let it go. The content can become stale. Like, other than a rotating boss that you mostly auto, there's not that much sort of new content coming in, and the events, obviously. Then the last con is obviously there's a censorship debacle that's happening, and so folks are worried that other things in the future will be censored. Regardless of that, I think that Blue Archive had a very strong start. It may have faltered a bit for folks in the past 2 weeks, but I do look forward to the future content, especially the bunny event. I mean, it's number 3 just for that, boys. Now we're at the last two, and these two are two of my favorite games of the year. And some folks might be surprised, others might not. Let's get to it. Number two is going to be Counterside. Now, this was my favorite game release in terms of fun/value while I played. It released in May 2021 for mobile and PC. The release is the Southeast Asian version, but it does have English UI and subtitles. It's completely English. Now, part of what I really loved about this game is that all the character animations and art are so great. I mean, the live 2D, you guys should take a look at the skins for this game. I mean, they are amazing. They do really good work. And yeah, the combat is also unique. I mean, I know there's Clash Royale, but guys, this is a little bit more sort of comprehensive and complex and satisfying than Clash Royale. I mean, you've got more complexity in the metas, and you know, the characters, I'd rather put a waifu down on the board rather than a troll. I mean, that's just me. Also, it's got a very well written story. The events are also extremely well written. It's got just a great world, and you know, people are lore fanatics for this game for a reason. There's just so much going on the writing, a lot of content to do. PvP, guild, co-ops, dailies, hard mode content, events. And also the best thing is that the reason that I really liked this game when I started is that you did not need dupes to max your characters. You can just grind out the resources to get them to 100, and then to 110, you know, you accumulate that resource that you need over time, and they become more generous over time too. And so you'll have a couple of 110s in your belt, like just with time. And to me, that seems really awesome that you can fully max a character without paying for more dupes. That is cool. Some of the bad things about this game is that the awakened unit banners, which is the highest rarities, it feels expensive. You got to sacrifice some of the resources that you use to summon sort of the lower tier characters. And yeah, that doesn't feel great. PvP is obviously well territory. It's all awakened units, and you know, they pay to max them out faster. And so, yeah. And also the reason that I kind of fell off a little bit is that dailies can feel like a lot, especially the guild content. It does reward collaboration and sort of syncing with your guild people and, you know, getting on a Discord with them. But it is a lot of effort, and I just didn't have the time for that. And so it feels like a bit more of a hardcore game. You could definitely, you know, enjoy it casually, but it definitely rewards people who put more into it. Even with that, I don't even think that's a flaw. I think it's a very strong game, a very polished game. I fell off mostly because of the guild duties, but I will be back for this game, especially when the next crazy skin comes out. I mean, this game is just on par with something like a Zerlane. And now we are down to number one. And guys, I know the suspense is killing you, but it's obviously My Hero Academia's strongest hero. I mean, if you checked out my previous video, you can tell that I absolutely loved that game, but it cannot happen this year. I cannot give it to it as much as I love it, because there is a game that takes the top spot regardless. And that game is going to be Alchemy Stars. This is easily the most produced gacha game of the year. I mean, like, every event has a trailer. Everything they do has a trailer. It has just so much production value pumped into it. Some of the things that I like about this game is that the writing and the story and the dialogue is generally pretty good. And each new event comes with like new story, and it comes with new game modes, and it comes with like just a ton of things to do. I mean, and the units and the live 2D, they are phenomenal. And the combat is on its own level, not in terms of, you know, above everybody else's, but it's doing its own thing. And I really enjoyed that. It is unique in what it does. Some people might not vibe with the combat, and I totally get that. And for that reason, it's probably not going to be your number one, but I really vibed with it. I think it really did well what it was trying to do. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the world, the characters, the just feel and vibe of the game. 100% all in. And now that there's going to be a Miss Kobayashi collab, I mean, come on, boys. Like, what can you do? Like, you're obviously going to roll for Kobayashi. You're obviously going to roll for, yeah, she's the Kobayashi, the programmer. She's going to be the next top tier 6-star for sure. Some of the things that I didn't like about the game is that, you know, people might not like the combat. The auto really sucks, and you have to complete the mission to do the auto. And they kind of want to make you experience the story, or not the story, but the combat. And so I get why they make you do that, but it doesn't feel good all the time. Up to right now, there has been no pity to actually guarantee a banner character. It's, you know, it's been off banner 3000 for the past, you know, year. There is now going to be a pity system, and so this is going to, you know, fall off the list. But this is definitely one of the cons of the game, is that you couldn't guarantee the character that you wanted. Overall, I think this is the best complete package of a gacha game this year. If you don't vibe with any of the things I listed as the pros, completely get it. Completely get why it wouldn't even probably be on your top 10 list. But for the people that really did like what the game offered, this game offers so much for that audience, and I'm part of it. Obviously, it's my number one. I really liked it. You've got great communications with the devs. You've got great updates. You've got updates often. It just feels really good, man. It just feels like a good game. It's just my type of game. I want to see more games of this caliber in the future. I want to see gacha games continue to be better. We got Genshin Impact last year that sort of revolutionized the world. I don't want ripoffs of that. I want new things. I want exciting things. And so let's look forward to the future of degenerate gacha madness together, guys. I'm going to keep covering this crap. I'm going to keep sucking it up. I'm going to keep wailing. You let me know what games you want me to play, and that's my top 10. So as much as I'd like to renounce gacha games, I'll never stop gambling for anime pixels, at least not just yet. So till next time, jabronis, peace.